The unexpected benefits of living a toxic relationship. This is something that we don't talk about enough. So today, besties, let's talk about that, how it feels like to leave a relationship that is no longer serving you, the freedom that comes with that, the peace that comes in the morning when your phone no longer gives you anxiety, the rest that you get when you're able to sleep throughout the night because you're not stressing about the pain that someone is causing you. So the thing about a toxic relationship is that sometimes it is not so obvious. It is the subtle things that just happen randomly. For example, you notice that you're always walking on eggshells because you are wondering, what will I say today that might trigger this person? Or sometimes you are no longer able to look yourself in the mirror and be proud of the person who's looking back at you because you have said no to yourself so many times and said yes even though you wanted to say no because you wanted to please this person, and as a result your inner child does not even recognize you, your inner child does not even trust you. So how do you walk away? So for me, what I started doing was to just first be honest with myself. And I'm not gonna lie, I tried at first to just make it work. So if you're in a stage where you're still trying to make it work, that is fine. Take your time. And then when you see that it's no longer working for you, then it is okay to reconsider maybe changing your mind about that and walking away and then starting to work on yourself. So for me, I started being honest with myself and asking myself difficult questions, like for example, if this person stayed like this for the rest of their lives and nothing changed, would I be okay with that? And for me, I was not going to be okay. I wanted them to change so much, which is unfair to ask other person to change for you. If you don't like the person the way they are right now, then maybe it might not be a good idea to continue staying with them, because also when you force other people to change for you, then that builds up resentment in them, and you don't want people hating you because you have forced them to change when they were not ready. Okay, so the second thing after being honest with myself that I did was to start journaling, because there were times where I would gaslight myself and think, am I the drama? Am I the problem? Is there other things that I still need to do to try and fix this? And like I had so much burden, it was not easy. In fact, it was really hard. And I feel like even though there's work that you have to put in a relationship, but a relationship should not be so hard that you are even no longer being authentic to who you are. So I started journaling and just writing down every night, how do I feel? And then I would specify, I'm feeling like this because this happened. Because sometimes what would happen is I would even forget what had happened after some time, and then I start gaslighting myself and think maybe I was wrong, maybe I didn't hear that correctly, maybe that didn't happen, it was just in my mind. So journaling for me helped to just have evidence, or like something that you can see that, okay, this is what is happening and this is how I'm feeling as a result of what is happening. Okay, and then after that I was able to detach from the situation. So when you detach from the situation, you pull yourself out of that, and then you watch as if you're watching a movie of yourself. And this has helped me also in the past, where it was so difficult for me to get out of a toxic relationship. So what I started doing was to record my phone calls. Obviously, I don't know if this is legal or not. I didn't tell the other person, but I'll just record my calls. And then this other day, I listened to the calls. And then I was like, oh my goodness. I was so embarrassed to be me, to listen to myself the way I spoke to that guy, the way I was forcing things. And then from that moment, just like that, I got over him and I moved on with my life. So sometimes it helps when you detach yourself from a situation and ask yourself, if this was my daughter, if this was my daughter, or if this was my best friend who was going through something like this, how would I advise them? So take yourself out of the equation and look at yourself as if it's a third party, and that way you'll see that you're more logical. You'll see that the emotions are not so high because you are detaching from that situation. Okay, so after you have decided to get out of that relationship and now you're feeling the loneliness, the confusion, the sadness, these are the things that you can start doing to fill in that void, and that will help you to heal as you're going. So the first thing that I started doing was to go to the gym and work on your body. Working on your body will make you more confident, it will make you healthier, it will help you to sleep better. Do something that you love, whether it is a hobby or something that you've always wanted to learn. You need to start investing in that, investing your time, investing your energy on that, because sometimes you're not even missing the person because you know that they were horrible to you, but you're missing just being with someone, you're just missing talking to someone, or you are missing their company, or you just don't want to be on your own. So learn to pour your energy and your time on things that you love. Allow yourself to go through your emotions. Journal. I cannot stress enough how important it is to journal. When you journal, you get clarity in your mind. When you journal, you start to see your patterns, you see how you think, and then you start questioning yourself, why am I thinking like this? Where did this come from? Is this serving me or not? Can I let go of this limiting belief because maybe it is no longer serving me? So take time to be on your own, meditate, pray. For me, I started praying. I started connecting so much with God. And like I always say, that one of my favorite verses in the Bible is the one about God being the vine and we are the branches. So when you're not connected to God, most of the things might feel like they just misaligned. So for me, I took the time to just reconnect with God and remember who I am. So these are the expected benefits of living a toxic relationship. Number one, you start to glow. So we need to talk about the glow up after the storm, because I think this comes from the fact that you're now working out, the fact that now you are reading more books and you're getting knowledgeable, and now you have peace. You no longer have stress in your mind. You are relaxed. You are able to sleep throughout the night without waking up and feeling stressed or thinking, how am I gonna deal with this argument, or how am I gonna get out of this, or maybe how did we even start here? How did we even start this argument? Whatever it is, you sleep so peacefully knowing that you have showed up for yourself. The second benefit that happens is you start to trust yourself. You start to trust your gut feeling. You start to love and be there for your inner child. And that is extremely important. For the longest time, I ran away from healing. I ran away from facing myself, because I'm not going to lie, it is not easy. But the more you show up for your inner child, the more you start to trust your judgment, the more you start to believe in yourself, the more you start to also build your confidence. Okay. And then another thing that happens is you start attracting great relationships. So the people around you also, you start to notice that you start to notice that they are authentic, they are beautiful people, they support you, and they love the journey that you are in. Because sometimes when you are in a relationship that is no longer serving you, some of your friends, they know that, and they're waiting for you to just pull off the plug, but they don't want to be like the bad person. They don't want to tell you to leave something. They want you to be ready for that. So when you finally leave, then you get to be yourself, you get to be authentic, you get to speak your mind, you get to have that freedom, and you start to love yourself. And then as a result, you attract people who also love themselves, people who respect themselves. And the last one is you start to like the person that you see in the mirror. You look at that person and think, I'm so proud of you. We did that. Look at us. We're starting to glow. We're starting to be beautiful. And you just become so proud of yourself. And you start to achieve new things. Because like I said, as you're trying to heal, you learn new things. You read more books. You start a new hobby. And then you just become so proud of yourself. You become just this person that you cannot recognize, but you're just so proud. You're like, oh my God, I'm so grateful that you took the leap of faith. And sometimes we know that this relationship is not good for us. You know that it is not going to work. You're just prolonging the process because you don't want to be alone, because you think that maybe the grass is not greener on the other side. Maybe it is not greener, but trust me, loving yourself and being with yourself and showing up for yourself fully is way better than being in a dysfunctional relationship. If you keep staying in a relationship that is no longer serving you, you start to normalize dysfunction. You start to think maybe it is not so bad. You start to think that maybe other people are also going through the same things. But I'm not here to tell you that you must leave your relationship. If you feel like you're not ready, but you can see that it is a bit toxic, it is okay to start thinking about it. It is okay to start journaling about it. It is okay to start considering that maybe there is something better on the other side, but no pressure. Let me know on the comment section below if you were able to walk out of a toxic relationship and what was the final straw for you, and what are the benefits that you didn't know back then. I think for me, the biggest one is definitely sleep. I sleep so nice because when I was still in a toxic relationship, I was not able to sleep throughout the night. I had insomnia. I used to wake up and be stressed. And guys, have you ever been in a situation where you are stressed about a fight that you had with someone, but this person that you had a fight with is sleeping peacefully like a baby? How stressful is that? How crazy is that? Okay, I hope this helps. Have a day as beautiful as you are. I love you so much. Thank you for your time and energy, and until next time, bestie. Bye.